What's going on, everyone? So this is the part 2 of the smart or gateless parking coding tutorial using Nextjs and machine vision. In part 1 we did the landing page right here. As you can see, we completed the landing page, fully responsive. There's no functionality yet, but it's there, and I have already checked in the code, so you can go to my GitHub repo and get the code from there. So this project, for those who are joining in the second, I guess, episode, the idea is to create a gateless parking where there's no gates, and when a car drives in, it's going to be scanned by a camera, and we're going to build a simulator to simulate that using Python and machine vision, YOLO V8, and all the cool stuff. All right, and then when this is, by the way, the code where we left off. So we did the landing page, and now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the admin dashboard. So I was thinking, if we do the admin dashboard, then we can start adding the places and the parking locations, and then that way we can then start booking them from the guest side. So now what we will be doing is we're going to create the sidebar. And so the sidebar, as you can see right here, that's the VS Code sidebar. So I'm just going to use this as an example. So you have a sidebar, then you have the main content, then the sidebar in itself has content in it. So we're going to go kind of from inside out. We're going to create the content, the active link, then the sidebar, then wrap the content, the main content around it, and that's how it's going to make more sense. So without wasting time, I'm going to come here to my app folder, and we're going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it dashboard, like that. And then within this, I'm going to create a page.tsx file, and I'm going to create a layout.tsx file, like that. So let's close everything so that we don't get confused. All right, so I'm gonna open the page.tsx right here, and what I will do is I will do this, and we will say dashboard page, like that. So that's my dashboard page, and then I'm gonna go to my layer.tsx file, and then we're gonna do dashboard. So I'll just copy this, and we'll say dashboard layout, like that. So now what we can do is we need to pass in the children here, like how you do and with any layout, and then we need to tell it what children is. So I'll say children is a react.react node, like that. And then in here I'll come here and I will do children, like that. All right, so let's save this, and let's actually just go ahead and go to dashboard, and there we go. So our dashboard is coming, so that's pretty cool. All right, so as I said, we're going to go from inside out. So for that, what we will do is, the first thing, I will come over here to components and I'll create a new file, and I'm going to call it active link.tsx, like that. And then immediately we will call it active link, like that. All right, cool. With that done, then we need to pass it two things. And first is the children, and the second is href. Now this has to be a client component, because we need to be able to read the URL so that we know should we activate this or not. So for that, I will come here and I'll do use client, like that. All right, so now we need to tell this thing what the parameters are. So for that, I can do like this, props, okay, and then I'm going to do children. So we know this is a react node, and then for href, right, it's just going to be simply a string. And then what you do here is I can just do maybe okay, and maybe I can I just do props, like that. No, sorry, actually, what am I doing? I need to come here and do props of type props. Cool. So now we have this, and then what I can do here is, first of all, I'll get the path name. So I'll do path name. Let me close this. Okay, and I will do use path name. So this comes from Next Navigation, like that. So I have that, and then what I will also do is I'll do const is active. Okay, and I'll do path name is equal to. So I'm going to use the ternary operator. And if it's active, then what we just do is give it a blue color, like that. Otherwise, just nothing. Okay, so it's complaining. So what I will do, sorry, is props. You know what I should do? I should actually do this, make my life easier. I'm gonna do children and I will do href. Okay, and then I can do href like that. So that'll take care of that. And then what I need to do here is I'm gonna get rid of all of this. And since this is a link, so we'll be using the link from next link like that. All right, so then let's close that off. Okay, so we need to give this a href. So that's going to be this href. And then class name, what I will do is I will basically come here, do the ticks, and then I'm going to do is active, right? So it's going to be basically this class. And finally, what we will do is within it, I am going to give it a class name, and I'm going to use the cn function. So you get that from Shachi, and we did that in the first part. And I'll do padding x of 4, padding y dash 2, rounded dash md. And on hover, what I want to do is I'm going to give it a bg blue of 800 like that. Okay, and then on top of that, I'm going to pass is active. And then finally, what I will do is I am going to pass in the children like that. So that's my active, basically, as you can say, link. All right, so we're done with the active link, and then I'm going to come back here. And the other thing we need to do is now we need to create the sidebar. So I'm going to come to component, new file, and let's just call it sidebar.tsx like that. So the reason why we're creating it like this, so we can utilize it for mobile and desktop at the same time, and that way we don't have to rewrite it in different places. Anyway, so I will do this and sidebar like that. Cool. All right, and then what we need to do is I'm going to create an interface, and I'll say interface, and let's call it menu item. Okay, so it's going to have an ID, and then it's going to have a href, okay, where we are headed, and a title. They're all strings like that. All right, and then so sidebar takes nothing. And then what you want to do is in the return, I'm going to create a div and div like that. And then let's just give it some class names. And then what we will do is utilize the util, the cn. I'm going to bring this like that. And then what I can do is, well, for this one, actually, I don't need the, I don't know why I have the cn. I actually don't need it. What I will do is I can just simply do this. So what I'm doing is basically creating a flex column because I want everything just in one column. A z of 10, so it's above everything, and a width of 256. That's the width of my sidebar, and full and overflow of auto and padding of 4. That's all I'm doing. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll create h1. Okay. And then let's just give it a class name of text-2xl and padding left of a little bit of 4 like that. And then I will come here and do a link. Okay, I need to bring the link from next link and href. So this is the like a logo or your app name dashboard like that. Okay, so this should be enough for us to put this here, and we can probably see this in action. So I'll go back here to, let's say, my page.tsx. So I'll come here to dashboard, and what I will do here is I'll create a new folder, and let's just call it components. So all the components, because we'll be using it only in the dashboard, so that's why I'm going to put it here. And within it, I will create a new file, and what I'll do is I'll call it sidebar layout.tsx. So is this like a wrapper? So you kind of wrap everything in this one. All right, so what I will do in here is I will come here and we will do basically RFCE, and then I will call it sidebar layout like that. And then what I will do is I'll create, type a little bit too quick. I'll say type props and children, and what I will do is I'll say react React node. So actually, I'm thinking because I don't need to add any more. Let me see. I don't need to add any more parameters. So maybe I should just put it here. Actually, it doesn't make sense to create that separately. We're not sharing this with anyone, so I'll leave it here. So it's gonna be a React dot React node like that. I'm gonna get rid of this. Anyway, so that's that, and let's just make sure everything is nice and tidy. All right, so what I will do is in here, this is going to be a client component as well, and that's because we're going to be using the open set open state. So I'll use client like that. All right, and then in here, what I'll do is I'll say const open set open, and I can do use state. So that's coming from use state React. From React, and initially it's going to be false, right? Like that. And then what I'll do is in my div right here, I'm going to give it some class name, and I will do flex column and full. I want to give it full screen like that. Okay, so let's see. Let's close this. Let me close this here so you guys can see what's going on. And then I'm going to bring this on next line. So for this one, I'm going to create another flex and a width of full, and it's going to have a bg dash blue dash 500 and height dash 12, and I think this should be a dot. Cool. Okay, I think I probably made a mistake here. I'm going to close this and let me come here. This should be height of 12, and on large and above this should be hidden. So this is the actual menu icon. We should only see this on mobile devices, so that's why I'm hiding it on large screens and above, so you're not going to see it actually. So I'm going to do padding to text dash white and items dash center like that. So what do I put inside of here? Inside of this one, I'm going to put the menu icon from Lucid React like that. And what we can do is just do like that. All right, so well, it's not gonna show anything because we're not wrapping anything. So you know what, while we are here, I'm gonna go to the layout.tsx file, and this is where you come in here and you do sidebar layout like that. Let's copy this, and I'm gonna paste this here and save it. So there you go, that's what I was talking about. So as you can see, if I go above, it gets hidden and it's coming up on the mobile devices. Cool, so that's pretty cool. Let's go back here and let's continue working on this. So what I will do is, and then on click, right, we basically do set open. You take open and you just toggle it. That's all we're doing. We're just flipping it. So this should be this. Okay, like that. And then also on mobile, sorry, I would like to put some text, right? And I'm just going to do text dash 2 XL padding left dash 4, and I'm going to call it dashboard like that. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, so that's that. So this will take care of mobile devices, but now we need something for desktops. So for that, I'll create a div, and it's going to be flex, and it's going to be height of screen like that. All right, so here we need a mobile sidebar, and we need a desktop sidebar. Let me put this here. Okay, and we will come back to it. And then what we do is I'm going to create a main, and I'm going to create a class name flex-1 bg-gray 200 and padding -4. Okay, and then in here I'm going to put children, right, like that. So that's what I was talking about. So you see you have your sidebar, and then you're going to have your main content, and then this is the sidebar. So if I expand this, let me just try. So there you go. So that's the for mobile. And so what's going to happen is it's going to hide on, by the way, mobile devices. But for now, I'm seeing it because we're not doing anything. I've just put the text here. But that's the whole idea. That's the structure we're going to be following. So let's come here and actually do the mobile sidebar, and we can actually see it. So I'll come here to my component. I'll create a new file and I will call it mobile, okay, sidebar. Oh, sorry, it should be, I want to be consistent with my naming, sidebar.tsx. And I will close this and I will just do mobile sidebar like that. Oh, okay, that's, I don't know why it, yep, that's what I want. I'm going to save it, and then what I will do is, I think with control minus I can go back, and what I will do is I'll come here and I'll do mobile sidebar. Let's see what happens. Cool, as you can see that came. You know what we can do? We can also do a desktop sidebar. So let me expand this, and I am going to, oh yeah, it should be desktop sidebar like that. And then what I can do is I can say desktop sidebar. Let me just copy this, paste it here, paste it here. Cool, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna close this, and then I'm gonna come here, and in here I should do desktop sidebar. Cool, so nothing changed, but I mean, we have now our own components. Cool, so now if I go to the mobile sidebar, I'm gonna close this and we can get cracking on this one. And what we will do is we need to pass it two things. The first one will be open, and the other thing is set open. Remember those the state we created, so that's what we're doing. So open is gonna be a boolean, but set open, that's a React dispatch function. So what we do, we say React dot dispatch, okay, and then you do React dot set state action, and the type of this is a boolean. So that's that. All right, and then what you do here is we're gonna actually create a sheet. So that sheet is gonna serve in on desktop, sorry, mobile devices. So we're gonna go back to chatcn, and if I go to sheet, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're trying to do here. Is I'm going to copy sheet. If I am not mistaken, I don't think so we've installed the sheet yet. No. All right, cool. So I'll open this and just paste it. I'm just executing this command, and there you go. So a sheet has been added, and what we can do is I'm going to copy all of this. All right, and let's close this. Go back here, go back here. I'm going to paste it. So from this one, the only thing I need is sheet and sheet content. We don't need the trigger because we're going to be using this to kind of do it for us. And what I can do here is I will do sheet. Okay, so component UI sheet, yeah, that's good. Actually, we pasted it, so that's okay. All right, and what you do here is you do open. That's the open that I brought in, and then on open change, you're gonna do set open. So that's how you can control a sheet. And then for sheet content, okay, what I will do is I'm gonna do sidebar. So you see, that's the benefit of this. So we're gonna do this exact same thing on the desktop side. So we use it, we build it once, but we can use it in both places. Now I'm gonna hit save. Whoop, hit save. There you go, that's our sheet. And now what we need to do is I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna do side of left. Okay, so it's coming from the left. And then the other thing I will do is I'm gonna give it a class name. So I'm gonna do padding of 0, and then I'm gonna just give it some width, because the default width is a little bit small for my liking. So I'll do that, and I'm always putting this equal sign. This should be dash. All right, so width of 256 pixels. Let's see. So if I come here, actually I need to click this. Okay, so this is not getting clicked. We're gonna figure this out. I just want to make sure that I got the sidebar. So if I go to sidebar, I have no content at this point. So let's actually fix that. So if I just go back, so that's good. So that's good. And you know what I will do is I want to hide this desktop because this shouldn't be visible on the mobile devices. So what we can do is we can go back to the desktop sidebar. And what I can do for now is I will just do class name, and let me close this. It's gonna be hidden, and on large and above I'm just gonna do block. Cool, there you go. So that goes away. And the simple, it's very simple. All you do is just do sidebar from components like that. Boom. So that takes care of desktop. So let's take a look now. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. So that's your desktop sidebar, and that's our mobile sidebar. Pretty nifty if you ask me. Now the only problem this I'm having is when I'm clicking this, it's not actually bringing up the sheet that we need. So let's see what's going on. So let's go to mobile sidebar, and actually I'm gonna go back to, I'm gonna close this. We have two main things open, and let's go to this page. That's fine, and let's see where, aha, here it is. So okay, there seems to be a, okay, yes, so we need to pass, by the way, the what do you call it, we're not passing the, we're not passing anything. That's why the problem is. So I can do open is equal to open, okay, and set open is equal to set open. I'm going to close it, and let's take a look. That's what I'm talking about. Look at this. All right, so as you can see, here's the mobile version, and if I go desktop, that's the desktop. So you have a responsive, by the way, sidebar that you can use in your projects. Cool. I'm liking this. Or look, so okay, so what we can do is let's finish this sidebar. So let's go back here. Let's go, and I'm gonna minimize this, and here's the sidebar. So let's finish adding the rest of the stuff. Let's minimize this. Okay, so we were here, so I'm gonna come here, and what we need is we need a div, and it's gonna be flex column, and we need justify between, and then I'm gonna do height full like that. Cool. And then inside of this I'm gonna put, okay, I need to put a UL, not a UI. Damn. All right, and then inside of here I'm going to put li, and then active link, I'm going to put, and the href for this one I'm going to say dashboard, and then I'll say locations, and I'll say tile view. Okay, and then I'll say, I'm gonna bring this on next line, and I'll say locations. Okay, let's save it, and boom, that's your locations. Now for this UL, I need to give it some class name. So what I'll do, I'll say width dash full. Okay, that's 1, and then padding top of 8. Okay, there you go. That's your padding top, and space dash y dash, I think 2 will look good, and then we go flex and flex dash column. Okay, so I'm going to add the rest of them, then you will see what this does. So now all I need to do is take this li and duplicate it, bookings, and then revenue. So this is basically bookings, and this will be revenue. So there you go. So I think I did one extra. So I'm gonna do this. All right, so I have locations, bookings, and revenue, and what I need to do is I need to come here, and I'm gonna do bookings, and then for this one I'm gonna come here and I'll do, just say revenue. Cool. Now if I click on these, as you can see the hover is working, right, because we did that somewhere here. Now if I click on this, it's gonna error because we don't have this yet, so we need to add those. And the other thing I will do is, beside this UL, that's going to come later when we do the authentication, but I'm going to add a placeholder, is padding left of 4, text dash blue dash, I'm going to go with 600, and then for this one I'm just going to do user button. So when we do the authentication, it's going to come in at that point, but we know we need it here. All right, so let's go ahead and add these so we can jump around to these different locations. Let's close everything, and I'll just say close all. All right, so right here, where were we? Here, under the dashboard, we're going to create these. So under the dashboard, I'm going to create a new folder. and we're going to call it booking. So if you know anything about the page app thingy routing, so you need to do that. The folder is basically the path. So I'll do locations, and then the other one I'm gonna do is revenue. Cool. Oh, okay, that was under. Actually, what I can do, I'm gonna drag it out here. Move. All right, so I have bookings, locations, revenue. So under booking, I'm gonna create a page.tsx CE, and I'm gonna say bookings page. Cool. So that's my bookings page. And then same here under locations, I'll create a file page.tsx, and it will say RFCE, and it will say locations page, like that. And then under the revenue, I'm going to create a file page.tsx, and I'm going to do a revenue page, like that. All right, so hopefully now if we let's say go to locations. Actually, I'm not going to do this because this is a different kind of structure. But if I go to bookings now, as you can see, I'm on bookings page. That's pretty cool. If I go to revenue, I'm on the revenue page. So let's go to here. So bookings, revenue, pretty cool. All right, so for locations, because we have remembered the two kind of sub views, we have a map view and then we have the tile view. So we need to, I think, follow that structure. So within the locations, I'm going to create a new folder, and this one I'm going to call map view. Then within this, I'm going to create a page.tsx, and I'll say locations map view page. So that's that. And then also within the locations, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this tile view. Then I'm going to say page.tsx, and I will say, for this one, I will say locations tile view page. I think I should make the V like that. Cool. So that's that. All right. So now if I come here and I do locations, there you go, locations tile view page. And within this, we're going to have a button to go to the map view. So this actually, if I'm not mistaken, we have now a structure placed for the dashboard. Now one problem I see is, let's say if I go to dashboard, so I'm landing on the dashboard, right? So which is this right here. So what I can do is by default, I think we should just go to the, let me see, can we go to so this is my locations. Can I just go to, let's say, tile view, locations tile view page, right? So if I go now refresh this, and did I do this right? Maybe not. All right, so that's not what we wanted. I think this was wrong. So it's right here. Yeah, this one. So if I come here, what I can do is by default, we're just going to land on the tile view page. I'm going to save it. Boom. There you go. So now when somebody just logs in, they go to dashboard, the first thing they will see is the tile view page. And then from there, they can go to, let's say, bookings, revenue, and locations. So there you go. So this is the admin dashboard. We've started the structure. We've done the fully responsive sidebar. So that's also done. And now what we can do is, one thing I see is, if I come here, this icon is not very visible. Let's see how we can fix that. So if I come here to component, sidebar layout, actually this is on the sheet, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so let's see. So if I come here to UI component, if I go to sheet, so that's one thing about ShardCN. You can, I think you can modify this thing. So if we come here, sheet variants, here it is, and let me hunt down where this button is. I'm going to expand this because it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to see. What if we just search for close? Yeah, here, see this, the X, So what if I did font dash white, sorry, text dash white? Well, that's work. I'm gonna save it, and there you go. So that's what I like about Shadcn. You can go ahead and easily change the UI. So now it's more visible, I guess, and it works very well. So that'll be it for now, and I'll see you in the next part.